America, and welcome to the Power Hour. My name is Perez, and I have the pleasure of being your host today. We have these calls once a month where it's a space that we've created here in Jeunesse, North America for the ladies of NAM to get together and just talk about all things business from a female perspective. I want to remind everybody, in case this is your first time being on, or maybe you skipped a few, that this was a call that was made for women by women, and it's all about uncovering the power of her. And we like to use the word uncover rather than discover or anything like that, because you see, women are superheroes, truly. I mean, you think about all the things that women do, from being, and many times being a mom, a daughter, a sister, running a household, running a business. There's so much that women do. I like to say that women are the quarterbacks of the family, constantly calling plays and winning championships for the family. And so many women have embarked on this journey of direct selling. Matter of fact, over 70% of the women or 70% of the people in direct sales are female. And so, we thought it would be important for us to just gather and hear some of the stories right here within our Jeunesse family and Jeunesse North America that are inspiring, that are moving. They're women on the move that we could all learn so much about. So this is the Power Hour. It's all about discovering the power of her. And today I have an incredible speaker with us today. She's somebody that I got to know over a year ago, and she is phenomenal. And by the way, I knew of her since I got started at Jeunesse, but given COVID and many things, we got to sit down a little bit over a year ago in Cabo, and I heard her story. And I'll tell you what, by the time she finished telling me her story, I had goosebumps. We hadn't started the Power Hour just yet, but I knew that at some point we'd start a platform like this for females. And I thought to myself, gosh, the ladies have to hear her story. And not just the ladies, by the way. We've had her on the stage. You've seen her at Jeunesse events. She spoke, I believe, at Jeunesse at Lead earlier this year in Dallas, Texas, and the men also were inspired by her story. She's just a boss. She really is. She makes her home out in Dallas, Texas. She has a beautiful family. Her husband comes to the events, also supports in the business. She has a son. He's an attorney. Also has a fur baby as well. But I'm not going to tell you too much about her story because I want her to tell you about it. But the thing is, she's achieved the rank of Ruby, and this is the very first time that she's been in the industry. Matter of fact, Jeunesse is something very different than anything she's ever done. And I would even dare to say, based on her story, that she never thought in a million years that she would be as committed and as full in network marketing as she is today. But thank goodness, because, fast forward years later, since 2016 that she's been involved, she has blessed countless of lives. And so with that, ladies and NAM and everybody else listening, please help me welcome the one and only Ruby Director, Ms. Paula Cheung. Paula, are you with us?
Yes, Betty. Hi, Betty. Well, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I am so excited that you're on. Like I just said, I have been waiting for you to have a moment here with us at Jeunesse. Recently, I know you've done this many times over in the past years, but I wanted us to have an opportunity, especially the ladies in NAM, to hear your story because, like I said, it's very inspiring. It was very inspiring to me, and I just know that your story is someone's survival guide. And so it's time to show them, what is possible when you go out there and you just have the belief that you have here in Jeunesse. But first of all, we're matching. We got the memo, right?
Yeah,
we got the memo. I guess that you're wearing our Power Hour logo's color, so that makes sense. But Paula, tell us, how are you today? How is Dallas? How's it over there? We're in Florida, and Hurricane Nicole is coming our way, but nonetheless, we're blessed and we're safe and we're happy. How are you?
I'm good. First, I want to, start praying for you guys out there. I hope this time, the Hurricane Nicole is not going to be as hard as like last time. We're doing fine right here. Can't complain. The weather is about in our 70s, but guess what? This weekend is going to dip down into the 40s.
Yes.
If you don't like it, the weather, wait 5 minutes, is going to change. But yeah, it's great here.
It's that time, right, Paula, where like the weather just starts changing. I'm waiting for it here in Florida. I love the sun. I'm that person that when it gets below 72, I get cold. But you know, there comes a point in time where you want to wear the boots and the scarves and the coats, you know, and so we're waiting. But yeah, it's you know, hopefully it doesn't get past a tropical storm and only a category 1. But yeah, you know, hopefully our prayers are with everybody in Florida. I'm sure we'll be fine. But let's jump right into it, because I've got a series of questions for you, Miss Paula, and I'm eager to get into it. So I'm pulling up my notes here that I prepared for our call today. So, you know, obviously I know a little bit about your story, a lot about your story, but for the folks who haven't had a chance to meet you, let's just start from the very top. Let's start, tell us where you're from, Paula. Who were you born to? Tell us a little bit about your family. Because I think our background always helps shape, you know, our personality and leads us, you know, to be the person that we are, at least a good piece of it. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, as you said, I'm right now currently located in Dallas, Texas. I'm originally from Taiwan. I came to the States after I graduated from high school to pursue my college dream here. I majored in business and dreamed to be an international businesswoman. However, the dream, unfortunately, was intercepted by my husband after I graduated from college. Actually, we started dating during my college year. He was going to dental school at that time. So after he graduated, we decided to form a family. So that's what we did. And a year after we got married, I had my son. And then he opened his dental practice after that. You know, and that time I still had my dream. I wanted to do something for myself. But I don't know how many of you like me, when reality there that your husband, your family needed your help. So at that time I go, you know, I told my husband, you know, I would work for you for 5 years and I'll step out. But you know what? When reality hits, I never got out. There you go, 25 years of my life. You know, I shouldn't complain. I have no complaint. He gave me the light in a lot of my friends' eyes. They're envious of my life in a way that on the surface, I would say that I pretty much got everything I want materialized wise. I shouldn't complain, but deep down, I was so insecure. You know, I know, you know, I feel like that was my destiny to be a mother, you know, to raise a child and be a business partner. And also I'm taking care of the household stuff. So I just had no time to pursue my dream, or was it even possible? So literally over the time, I just forgot how to dream. So I was just so blessed, you know, at that time, that 6 years ago, I encountered Jeunesse, and my life has totally been transformed after that.
Wow. You know, there's so much you just said that I want to dig into, but one of the things is, you know, you went to college, you got your business degree, you wanted to be a businesswoman, you had these big dreams and goals, but you know, you put a pause on that to dedicate yourself to the family. And you know, it's being a mother, being a stay-at-home wife, managing the household. And I know your story. You also helped Jojo, the name of your husband, right? In the practice. And so, you know, that's a full-time job right there. That is so much that you've done, you know, but nonetheless, you know, what I hear from you is there's something in your heart and in your soul that you wanted to do, you know, and I know that led you to Jeunesse. But tell me about those years, Paula. You know, at what point did you know that there was something more that you wanted to do? Like, what was it that said, hey, Paula, this is great, and yes, this is you know, this is so worthy, but there's more that you got to do?
Yeah. You know, I think as a woman, I think a lot of women can resonate what I'm feeling. We tend to stretch ourselves and sacrifice ourselves more. So, but then I thought, you know, that's life for me. And then so I'm doing so much, and I kind of not forgetting how to take care of myself in a way. So my health you know, actually was affected as well. And, you know, a lot of my friends know, you know, luckily God had blessed me with one perfect child. But after that, I had 5 miscarriages. You know, at that time, I just didn't know. I don't know, you know, maybe the stress, maybe the health, maybe, you know, back then there's technology wasn't that good enough to tell me what happened. So the doctor just tell me to keep trying. So this is what I did. But, you know, my health in kind of taking a toll at that time. And, you know, when at that time, I actually later, now I look back, I was probably going through depression. after that. But back then I just kind of taken life as one day at a time, but I was just, not happy. I wanted to do something. I couldn't get out. At that time, I feel like I was already so detached from the society. There's nothing for me, and 9 to 5 jobs, probably not something I could take on. What can I do? And then, at that time, we already been hiring more staff. And, in his practice, I literally didn't need to be in it, but I didn't want to just stay home and do nothing. And this is not me, so at that time, I feel like I want to do something, but unfortunately, there weren't any options out there. I felt like, so, but at that point, that's when I encountered Jeunesse. I told everybody I was on the crossroad of my life at that time. My son is grown up, he's an attorney, and my husband's successful. Who am I? I'm a Mrs. Cheung, Dr. Cheung's wife, Dixon's mom. I feel I didn't go to college. I actually went to graduate school for nothing. I wanted to have something for myself, but over the years, 25, 30 years of anybody's life, not just for a woman's life, it's just kind of like, okay, what now? So I'm just waiting for my husband to be retired and follow him. I used to say that I follow him like a little puppy dog. Nothing wrong with that, but I wanted more, and I'm just so blessed. I know I'm a first timer in this industry. How lucky am I to have found Jeunesse and the perfect leadership like you guys to lead me the right way, to give me the power to pursue, to be brave enough to pursue open minds and know that it's possible out there for me to pursue. So that, that's kind of a message I kind of want to bring it to a lot of women out there thinking it's impossible to get out. There are options out there that we can do for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what you just said, Paula, is something that so many women can relate to, finding your identity outside of just, the family, right? And that is, and by all means, like that is so purposeful. My sister also is a stay-at-home wife, and she's got her kids, and there's so much joy in that. But at the very end of the day, we have to dig deep in our soul. And sometimes our soul says, hey, that in itself is 100%, but what more, right? And finding your own name, not being JoJo's wife, right, or your son's mom. And that's what this industry does. This industry allows people, myself, yourself, and so many others, countless people, to really find a stride, because you're unique, Paula, in the sense that you went to college, you got your graduate, right, your master's, you've got an education behind you. You technically could go anywhere. And I'm sure if you had done this, Paula, you would have been surprised at how many opportunities you found. But at the very end of the day, we got to have that confidence. So tell us how Jeunesse has helped you find that confidence, going from, not having your own, job or career, and then stepping in all the way to being a Ruby, having a business all over the world. And I know that confidence in you has grown. You've told me a little bit about it, so we would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, what we're talking about as a woman, how we stretch ourselves, before we go on to your next questions. I think that as a woman, you have to be, you find that security within yourselves. You want to be happy. I always tell everybody, you have to love yourself first before anybody can love you. So during that marriage, when I had miscarriage and the stress and all that, and I thought at that time was the darkest of my marriage life. It actually were in kind of a trouble. I'm sure every couple's kind of go, but I'm so glad everything is great right now. We're the best relationship ever, because I think really, Jeunesse literally in a way kind of saved our marriage in a way. But, at that time I figured, I wanted to find my own identity, so, I think that is very important for a lot of women out there. You have to have the want, the desire to change. And I wanted that. So I think it's at the right time. And to kind of step back a little bit, we'll talk about depression at that time. I didn't know, look back. I'm sure, most of my friends who knew me, know about the 17 pair of shoes story. I'm sure, Betty, you heard of that too during COVID. I shared with you. I remember, my favorite store is Neiman Marcus. Not anymore. I don't shop anymore. I don't have time. I don't have the desire anymore. So, I remember when they, one time they had a sales, I just went in there, my husband said, just go shopping, because he knew I was always not happy. And then we were in a kind of a strength that, it's hard to explain. He's pretty much giving me all the attention, but I just didn't feel like I had it. When you're not happy, your fingers are pointing everywhere, it's everybody's fault but yours. So I went into the store and then wow, and I just bought, guess what? I bought 17 pair of shoes. So I went out
how many shoes?
17 pairs.
17, everybody. 17. She went shopping.
And then so the manager and then two the assistants carry all the shoes for me, following me, because of course there's no way I can, with the shoe boxes are gigantic, So I went out and I figured, oh my God, that day I brought that little bitty sports car. I couldn't fit in. So I called my husband. I said, hey, I need you to pick up the stuff for me at his lunch hour. So he came. And then, so they're loading the car, the boxes of shoes at his car. And he looked and I said, hey, well, they're a really great deal. And my husband said, you should buy more, because he was so worried about me. You should go, it's okay. They're such a great deal. Buy more. And guess what, Betty? 17 out of the 17 10 pair of shoes is still up in my top shelves in my closet. And I never touched them. But you know what? I was thinking the other day, maybe I should unload them right now, because the bell bottoms are coming back, all the old styles are coming back. Maybe they're in style, but you know what? Now that I look back, it's just that when you're just not quite yourself, and that time I didn't know there's thing called depression.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I deal with it, but I get worse and worse, and So anyway, talking about when I start seeing the business, and how I encountered this business was actually my sister at that time. Both of my sisters, they're very successful. One of them own a high-tech company, very famous in Dallas, and the other one in LA, very famous commercial realtor. So, they told me, as a woman, no matter how successful, how rich your husband is, you always want to have something for yourself so you can find that sense of security yourself. I say, yeah, it's easy for you guys to say. You guys have been working, what can I do? So when they introduced me this business, guess what? I didn't quite understand because I'm a computer illiterate. I said, what? E-commerce? I don't know computer. They go, what? It's catching the trend. E-commerce is everywhere right now, even before the pandemic, right? So it's anti-aging. It's about beauty and health, wellness. I like that. I've always been, good at taking care of myself. I'm also a fitness instructor. That's another story when I try to find out.
That's right.
Identity at that time, I'm actually still a Zumba instructor. I've been teaching for 12 years, and that's my passion. However, it cannot give me the financial security I want. Sorry for all the health trainers out there. You just pretty much get paid to work out. You're not gonna get rich for that. So they told me that, and I said, oh, okay. It's wellness and it's about sharing. I love to share. Just like you were asking me where, you know how many links I share about where I got the clothes, where I get. I share, and then with the cell phone, you can build, listen to this, a global business in the comfort of your own home. I said, global business, that's what I always wanted, global business. So, at that time, I said, I'm in. I didn't even know what's the name of the company, what actually the product, but I saw my sister changes in their skin. You've met Angela before,
Of course. Yes, she's gorgeous.
So
both of you are. Yes.
Yeah, that's how that's how I got in. And you know what? And of course, like any other business, there's ups and downs. I'm a brand new, a person in this industry. Luckily, I have great mentorship. And I keep asking every time there's ups and downs, there's down time turns. Then I turn to myself. What is my why? Why did I get in? That's what it got me through. And I also look at other options. Is there any other options out there for me?
Yeah.
Pretty much use a cell phone. I could just, like right now, I talk to my friends, I build my business, and I'm able to build my business, bring my business back home to Taiwan. I have a big team in Taiwan as well. What other business can allow you to do that? So, and that, for me, I pretty much just believe in it. I'm a type of person, once I believe, I told everybody I'm a typical Scorpio. I just had my birthday. Typical Scorpio. I believe in something, I go for it. I don't care what other people think or say. Maybe they don't understand. That's not their fault. It's not my fault. But, over times, maybe the people that understand and be open-minded, they will join you. So I'm, I guess if you call, you may call it a gesture or my posture of doing this business. I'm just very, I don't really push. I don't need to persuade anybody. I don't think it's my job to persuade anybody who does not want to change. They want to change. They want to do something different. They want to look prettier, healthier. Why not? You want to give it a try, then hop on board with me. So, a lot of people ask me, how do you do it? I said, you know what? I don't know. I feel like it's just something that I enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do it. You continue to do it.
Yeah.
You duplicate.
Absolutely.
That answers your question. That's just very simple term to.
It does. It does. It more than answered my question. You said so much in that answer, and I want to go back to something because, Paula, you are the type of person that some folks, would be intimidated to call. Okay. And I want to talk about this because almost everybody in the business has a friend or knows someone like you where they say, you know what, Paula's doing well. She doesn't need, a side hustle. She doesn't need a plan B. Like, her life is beautiful, right? She doesn't need the money. She's never going to get involved in something like Jeunesse. We all have that person. And if you can relate to this, drop a 10 in the comment box below. We always, from a training standpoint, we say, your chicken list, right? Like, who's on your chicken list? And those are the people you got to call, because those are the people that have the most influence and they know a lot of people and they could go out there and do something really special, which, by the way, you're a perfect example. Like, look at you, you have a business all over the world, you're a Ruby director and you're super passionate. So for those of you guys who haven't called yet, the people on your chicken list, look at Paula. This is, what we're missing out on. So, but that, my point is, the point I want to make here is that, Paula, although you already had a beautiful life and you didn't do Jeunesse for the money, okay? You did it for something way deeper, something that, when the times get tough, like you said earlier, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. It's business, okay? COVID happens, we get out of COVID, people are still confused. Like, all of this is normal, by the way, right? It's like, because Jeunesse gave you this identity, it gave you this purpose, it also gives you the wherewithal, the belief, and the courage to keep on, right? Because this is so much more than that. And you found identity, you found purpose there. And, this is why it's so important that we never prejudge, that we never make a decision for somebody on why they're never going to do Jeunesse. Our job is to simply just offer the opportunity. Your sister, and it's, your sister knew you, your sister probably knew, like, hey, Paula needs this on so many levels, right? But do you mind just kind of expanding on that? Because I think this is an important note for people, that, and also just the fact that, and I want to touch on this as well, right, there is an epidemic of, just depression and anxiety right now in the US. And, people they're lonelier than ever. There's a loneliness epidemic in it of itself. And when people get plugged into something like Jeunesse, they find a community, they find a group of people, like-minded people that are striving to go somewhere. And so, I just wanted to put that out there as well, because, the millennials, Gen Z, everyone needs something like Jeunesse, because at the end of the day, we all need people. We were never made to be alone, right? And so this is what Jeunesse can give you, and so much more.
Yeah, you know what? The reason I was laughing when you said chicken list, you know what? My sisters, actually, I kind of have to not change story, but I kind of add to that. They did not come to me. I went to them. They judged me. That is such a very good example of never prejudge. They prejudged me, thinking, oh, Paula's got everything. And her husband never, he's very sorry about the doctors. He's very skeptic. He was very skeptic on everything, because he doesn't believe in anything that's new. They're trained to just focus on their career. So, they got everything. And then the husbands never really wanted to step outside of anything they have invested in, anything like that. So they prejudged me. Guess what? All my families and friends, they all joined before me. I was the last on board. So then I still remember when I was at my sister's house. So they were, like they're enrolling their friend. I went over, I go, what are you guys doing? I want a part of it too. And then my sister said, oh, yeah, right. As a woman, you need to have your own business. And she started giving me the lecture.. That's how I joined in. So never prejudge. It just think about, even before pandemic, there's, the world is, ever evolving. They're changing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, who says there's always a security? We used to be trained. You work 40 hours a week, work 40 years, you were retired with 40, you were set, but not anymore. The world is different right now, So how many people are looking for more options? You don't have to put your, whatever you're doing. I always tell my friends, what if there's another source of income on top of what you have already? Would you be so, are you allergic to money? What about it's real? I mean, why don't you give it a try? What if it's real? What if it could get you what you want, or you can stay at where you are at and probably, stop complaining because, it's just the options out there. And then people, for me right now, my mission is just to wanted to share as many as fast as possible because Jeunesse is only 13 years old. We got a long time to go. This is just the beginning. In Texas, how many people has never heard of Jeunesse? Every time, right. Oh my good, it's good. My market is big right here, right? So people ask me, oh, is it too late to join? I go, no, it's just the beginning. It started yet.
That's right. That's right. We are on our way to becoming a brand, a household brand, and we're not there yet. We've got so much to go. And yes, 13 years is only 13 years. I always say that, it's like, if for those of us who have kids, it's if you have a 13-year-old, like they're still they finally know a little bit about the world, just a little bit, right? It's like they've got ways to go. That's how I see us. Like, hey, we're like a teenager, right? On our way to being fully developed. So yes, there is so much. But I love your story, Paula. And I like the shoe story, by the way. I remember the first time you told me, I was thinking 17 shoes, like, who buys 17 shoes all at once? But it was so impactful when you told me, when we were sitting calling, when you told me the story, you're like, yeah, it's like, think about it. Who does buy 17 shoes at once, right? Like something was missing. You were trying to find something, some purpose, identity, joy, really, right? In the shoes, but really you were going to find that joy once you allowed yourself to be, you uncovered your superpowers as a woman in this industry. And we all just now admire you so much. So let me ask you this, Paula, as we get ready here to wrap up, what would you say to women, today that are getting started, and that are hopeful, right? Everybody has their own reasons why they're getting started, but what's a piece of advice that you'd give to women, whether getting started or even women that have already been in the business, but they're coming out of a pandemic. We're all coming out of a pandemic, and maybe they're feeling a little bit deflated, right? But they're still hopeful.
Right. You know what? I think before, if I may give, all of the women out there some advices, I might want to go back and, have you a question for yourself, a conversation, I call it, within yourself. Are you happy at where you are right now? Do you want more in your life? Are you ready for change? If there's no desire, there's no want, then there's, the rest of it is, garbage. We don't need to talk further. But if you really want more, what about there's option out there that can help you achieve? Like you say, Betty, it's the community that can help you. You're not in the business. It's for yourself, but it's not by yourself. That's the beauty about this business. That's perfect for women out there. Because sometimes we're more timid about doing things and stuff like that. Especially me, I've never really had any other than working for my husband in the office, pretty much just hitting the computer key, sending insurance, x-rays and all. That's all I knew of, right? So this is perfect, so you ask yourself, if you want to change, what are your options out there? What about take a look of what we have right now? And I consider myself, like I said, very, very lucky to have encountered Jeunesse as a platform, and also the community and the leadership to help me to achieve my dream. So my advice is dare to dream. Like I said, you're never too old to set a new goal. You're never too old, too late to dream a new dream. Okay. And this is it. But think is cheap. You cannot just sit there and think, oh my God, this is going to happen. What if something's going to happen to me? You have to actually go out there and start working. It doesn't, I mean, this business, great as you can leverage others' resources. Like, I didn't really know a lot of people. Right now I have, hundreds and thousands of, I call it online store in my organization. I didn't know all of them, but that's the beauty about this business. But at the beginning, you do have to work. It's network, it's not work. The beginning, the beauty is, my husband after 30 years still working. But the beauty about this business is after a while, you can choose whether you want to slow down, you want to take a break, it's not going to disappear. So, you ask yourself, engage in a conversation with yourself and stay open-minded and view the world right now is ever changing, even before pandemic, like I said. And after pandemic, everybody's looking for extra sources of income. All my hairdresser, my nail lady, my massage masseur, facial lady, everybody joined me because everybody knew there's no such thing as security anymore. Even my husband's a dentist. 2020, from March to May, he was forced to shut down.
Right.
3 months. How scary was that? Our overhead was, enormous. But luckily, my income at that time was, I could supplement some of the expenses covered so that we don't have to, touch our savings,
Jeunesse.
Right. Jeunesse is just, because everybody at that time was looking for something to increase their immune system. So I worked extra hard at that time, stay home. I had nowhere to go, couldn't go to Neiman's anymore. Well, I was, so working more. And then as you work more in this industry, you gain more. But in your normal job, if you're 9 to 5, if you work more, your boss is not necessarily going to pay you more, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
You're in control of your own destiny. And my advice is to all the women out there, don't wait. You deserve a much better life and you deserve to pursue your dream, and you should be a go-getter and to get the dreams you always wanted.
That's right. So beautifully said. So beautifully said. And I love your quote that you just gave us. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. That is just absolutely epic. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Jojo, your husband. He is so great, by the way. He's so fun, always super supportive, and we love seeing him at the events, the different trips. And I just think both of you guys, you guys are just dynamic and just a power couple. And it's just great to see your synergy.
Thank you. We look forward to every year's incentive trips. That's another thing with Jeunesse. I mean, that's the kind of life we want for when we retire, when he retires, right? I mean, just go travel with bunch of like-minded, fun people. We used to travel a lot first class too, but it's different. This is totally different. We still get first class, everything, but someone else is planning the whole trip for you. From the moment we got off the airplane, somebody have a sign, pick us up, all the way to all the excursions and then drop you off at the airport. How thoughtful is that? Which company was that? Right?
Exactly. And it's nice when you don't have to pay for it yourself, right? You were going to do the work anyway. And not only did you get paid the commissions, but you also got paid a trip. So for those of you who maybe know or don't know, here at Jeunesse, every single year we go on a trip that you can earn through travel points by going out there and simply doing the things you want to do anyway, which is build your business. And consequently, we say, hey, if you do X, Y, Z, you also get to come on this trip. And the next one at Paula, it's going to be in Paris, France. How epic is that going to be?
Yes. Perez, we're looking, I mean, I've been to Paris many times, but I'm especially looking forward to this time.
Yeah, you bet. But this is the first time you're going to go with Jeunesse, right? And we have an epic agenda. We've got dinner on the Seine, the river, right? I won't even spoil it just yet. We're going to dedicate a whole whole Zoom just to the Paris agenda, but it's going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Paula. I so appreciate your time. We all appreciate your time here in Jeunesse North America. Let's show Paula some love for sharing her incredible story in the comment box below. Drop some hearts, drop some tens. And Paula, you're an inspiration. Your story is so amazing. And there's so many women right now that can relate with everything you said. You know, they may have never been involved in the industry. Maybe they also, you know, were just taking care of the family and the kids, and now they're stepping out on their own, right? And the truth is, when we're all getting started, we're scared, and we have to build that confidence. But you know, we got to start somewhere. Like you said, thinking, thoughts, you know, that's cheap. We got to put some action into it. And you're good. We're always going to surprise ourselves. You know, any time you go out there and you take a leap of faith and you go all in and you put the work into it, you know, you're never going to be disappointed. You know, you always, if anything, you find out more about yourself and what you're made of. And Paula, we admire you. I know, we got
Yeah.
emerald next and diamond next and so many more things. So, you know, with that, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Do you have any last thoughts for us? Anything you want to say before you sign off?
No, it's an honor to be here, and I hope my words will empower some of the women out there. You know, like I said, don't be afraid to dream and step out of your comfort zone, because you'll be surprised how much potential you have. Like I've experienced. I mean, just every step of this is just, I enjoy the journey. That's the best part of it. So be brave to step out and to grab what you wanted.
Grab what you want. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Paula. God bless, and say hi to JoJo for us, okay?
Stay safe in Florida.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. So we'll just go run through some quick announcements here. We'll bring up the PowerPoint once again. Now that you are inspired and enthused with Ms. Paula's story, I do want to remind everybody that we have a brand new promotion that went live this month. Let's go to the next slide. And it ends in December, but do not wait till December. You want to get it done as much as possible this month. And that is the Run to Emerald. It started November 1st. It'll end on December 31st. And you have the opportunity to earn a one-time bonus of up to $15,000. So here's the way it works. You hit a position, you do the volume required with it, and you get a bonus. And I want to point out that at some ranks, right, you could actually, like, let's say you achieved a certain rank in the past, but you know, the business, it's up, it's down sometimes, it's business. And you may have dropped a rank, like maybe you were a Sapphire Elite and now you're a Sapphire 25. Well, what Jeunesse is going to do is say, hey, if you get back up to Sapphire Elite by December 31st and do the 25,000 in personal group volume, you also get a bonus. It's half the amount, but it's still a bonus. You can find out all of the information, details, and nuances in your back office. We've got all the material there for you with the details. So let's go to the next slide. I want to remind everybody that we've got some upcoming events. Please check the wiki, but the one we want to talk about right now is our next Power Hour speaker, and that is the one and only Triple Diamond Director, Miss Flora Lee. The topic is going to be women in network marketing. And Flora has a very amazing story. She too this is her first time ever in the industry. She has a very professional background and got started in Jeunesse really as a consumer. She was a customer. She was just trying to help out a friend, a neighbor, really. And she started using the products, and before you know it, she became a Triple Diamond Director with an international business, and she's got some golden nuggets to share. And that is going to be December 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please mark your calendars and let's show Ms. Flora Lee some support, and feel free to invite anybody that you want. I always say that with the Power Hour, it doesn't have to be women just of Jeunesse. It could be, you know, your friends, sister, mom, whoever that just likes to hear an inspirational story. You know, who doesn't? We always need more of that. So with that said, I just want to thank everybody for jumping on. God bless you, and we'll see you on our next events. Check the wiki, check the back office. We've got lots going on here in Jeunesse North America. So with that, we'll see you guys later. God bless. Bye.